One of the earliest dungeons that you can take on in Tainted Grail is the Blood Lake dungeon. Now this is the dungeon that's hidden in a lake of blood. As you make your way from the shipwreck where you very first start the game into the Horns of the South, you're going to come across a statue in a giant pool of blood. Once you see this, it's time to take a swim. Dive into the pool and swim towards the back. You'll see a set of doors. Open them to enter the blood dungeon. Once here, this dungeon has multiple levels. The first one you're going to be at is a gate guarded by an NPC named Mallalerie. Have a conversation with Mallalerie, and eventually you're going to learn that you and him are going to fight to the death. This is a boss battle, and I gotta say, it's not overly difficult. He is a sword and shield user. Really what you want to do is watch out for his lunge. It is very long, he has a lot of range, but take your time and whittle down his health and you should be fine. Once he dies, you'll be able to loot for the face of the last man, chest plate of the last man, and a parrying sword. All of these are going to be fantastic if you're a melee user. Once the door opens, you want to work your way into the garden. At the start, you're going to be near a giant tree, and there's going to be a lot of different hollowed druids that are sort of murmuring to themselves. Make sure to search this area thoroughly. You're going to have a lot of consumables, materials, and things like that to pick up, including a druid's talisman, which reduces your mana cost by 5%, and a druid's wish gem, which increases your mana by 15. Once you're ready, take the tunnel right beneath the giant tree in the middle of this level. As you work your way down into what's called the garden, there are going to be a lot of Marrowghast enemies. These enemies are very short and they're easy to sort of hide in the foliage and everything like that, so just be aware. If you're a lower level, these are a little more difficult because they typically frenzy and you don't often have enough stamina to withstand all of their attacks, so make sure to use your dodges wisely. But be sure to look out for various chests that are all over the place, and you want to essentially just work your way through this garden until you find Pridewin. Pridewin is this NPC kind of plant-like thing that's going to be sitting there, and interact with him and he'll talk to you about the garden, what it was, and that there's an abomination that needs to be ended. When you do this, you're going to get Pridewin's seal. As you take this seal, you need to work your way back towards the beginning of the garden area. This is shortly after you took the tunnel underneath the big tree. There's going to be a red door. Opening that door using Pridewin's seal, you can walk your way down to the arena. There's going to be a large kind of area filled with blood. Now, this is the Abomination boss. This one, I'm going to tell you guys, is difficult if you are a lower level, and I'll explain the mechanics. When the boss first spawns, the boss will use a fire spell if you are ranged, and it will use a cleave spell if you are close. It will also create a blood mist cloud that will take up 1/3 of the arena. Get out of this immediately, because this will tear your health apart and you will die incredibly fast. So make sure you're in position, stay out of the blood mist. Now, the Abomination will also summon some adds. These are just like skeletons that you can take out with a couple hits. So don't worry too much about them. Really what you want to do is you want to continue whittling away on the Blood Abomination's health. So let's talk about some tips to make this fight a little bit easier. One, this fight is much easier if you are a melee character. If you are ranged like a bow user or a magic user, this tends to be a little bit more difficult because it's hard, one, to draw the bow back and land your shots, and two, if you're a magic user, you often don't have enough mana to work through the Abomination's health quite yet. So if you're a melee user, get up close and personal. If you're ranged, make sure to pace yourself, have enough mana potions, have enough arrows, and just stock up. Number two, make sure to use any sort of coating on your weapon. This could be a poison, a burn, a bleed, something. By this time in the game, if you've been looting everything, you should have a few of these. Before the boss spawns, apply the coating, go through the cutscene, that way you already have it ready to go, and you can go start swinging. This makes life a lot easier because as you build up that ailment, that boss is going to take a considerable amount of damage, and it's going to make kind of the whole duration of the fight much shorter. Once you've managed to slay this thing, you're going to get the Blood Blade. This is going to increase lifesteal by 2% for every single swing that you do, and it is fantastic as an early game weapon. So once you defeat him, there's going to be a door that'll open in the back. Go through that door, you'll drop down back into the area where you just defeated Mallalerie. Work your way back through the garden to talk to Pridewin. Once you talk to Pridewin, he'll feel relieved and he'll die. Then he'll drop the winged spear. This is a two-handed spear that is a monster. You have increased physical damage by 100% when you're below 50% mana. So this is great if you're like a battle mage or if you're sort of weaving spells into your rotation. This is one you do not want to skip. So guys, that's the Blood Lake dungeon. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm curious to hear everybody's experience with this one. I have more Tainted Grail content on the way, so please stay tuned. As always, this has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you guys next time.